Good afternoon, everybody. Jamal Hoskins, NYC Art Handlers, reporting from Germantown. Yes, Germantown. This is where our new shop is, and that's what's going on behind me, the brand new Germantown edition. You got a lot of exposed sheetrock going on, and we're keeping it raw around here. However, what isn't raw and uncooked is this box. It's a foam core box, people. That's what we're making, that's what we're gonna show you. There's not a lot of dialogue that's gonna happen with this one. It's gonna just be showing it how it gets done. And it's gonna be nice, it's gonna be excellent, and what goes inside of these boxes is gonna be really, really sweet as well. So stick with me while I go through it. And remember, not a lot of dialogue. This is a video for you to watch and follow along and pay good attention to. We ready? Let's get it. Foam core box 101. Whenever you make any box, you need 6 sides. Front, back, and the sides. The same procedure happened when we were assembling the crate. And no matter what box you make, if you're making an actual box and not a trapezoid or a pyramid or something crazy, you're gonna need 6 pieces of material. And that's what we have here. So I just double checked to make sure that I'm actually handling the correct piece, because the way that these overlap is extremely important. And if we mix up that order, this thing will never go together properly. So you see I put that little bead of glue on there, and I apply a little downward pressure, okay? And we just need a little pressure on there to hold it in place. These glue sticks, they adhere really, really well and really, really fast. All right. See, I'm looking at the material to see if there's an ugly side and a not so ugly side. Now, when you're doing this, take your time, okay? It's not super glue. You rush, you mess up. In this capacity or in this job, slower is always faster. So take your time. You're gonna get it there, okay? There's no need to rush. And I'm just holding it until the glue cools down a little bit. I'm just keeping that downward pressure. Now you see that glue coming out the side right there? That's what I'm holding it for, all right? And that just guarantees that there's a bond, there's a seal there. And once I do that, I always take a little bit more and I run it like a bead of caulk along the inside. But that is something that I can do with this glue gun. If you have one of those Hobby Lobby glue guns, you probably aren't gonna be able to do that. You're gonna have problems. You're gonna be burning stuff, because those glue guns burn really, really hot. Okay, and now we're gonna apply the tape. All these seams get tape. They get white tape. In this case, I'm using artist tape. Why am I using it? Because it's archival. If you use regular masking tape, there's a likelihood that it will yellow over time. See how I'm lining that up in the middle? Pressing that down. Y'all ain't seen me in a hurry yet. You know, I've had this blade about 15 years. You wanna know how I know? Because Olfa doesn't make blades with the circle anymore. See that round circle? They all have the square now, the new ones. They don't make these anymore. And I used to take them from all the people who I worked with. I was like, you don't need that. Give me that knife. Guess that means I've been doing it for a little while. You see how I take the back of that knife? This knife has been doing this for 15 years, so he has a lot of experience. This tape is to make the edges look pretty. The clear tape that we'll put on it will reinforce it. And we're using artist tape because it's archival. If you don't care, you can get away with using masking tape. But you know how when you look at an old package that's been wrapped in masking tape and it yellows and then it frays off over time? That's what happened with this box. So imagine you have this nice pretty box that has this piss-colored yellow tape going on around it in a couple of years. Just be nasty. You can put very delicate sculptures. You can put anything in a foam core box, actually. You can make these foam core boxes extremely large as well. A lot of times you can line the inside of a crate with foam core if you need it to be really clean and pristine on the inside. This is a good way to get there. You see all this? I had my assistant sand down all the edges of these pieces because when you rip them down on the table saw, you get all this frayed material. Obviously, that's one edge that was not sanded down, but it's really important to know where your blades are. So be careful with your tools. Can't stress that enough, whether you're in the shop cutting on a table saw or even at a table using a blade. These are very, very sharp. Yeah, so be very mindful and respectful of the tools. Because as fast as we're trying to go, slower is always faster, nice and smooth. Well, right now, this process, getting that tape as centered as I can on the edge of the foam core is really delightful, and I'm not joking. It's really cool. So we get warmed up, running around. Maybe it seems pretty silly, but it doesn't really matter what I'm packing or what goes into this box, as long as this part that I'm doing is nice. There's something really refreshing about having handmade something and gotten it as tight as you can. So in this case, making these edges as uniform and as clean as possible. Yeah, that's one of the most joyous parts of doing this type of work. You know, you get to know it better than anybody else has. You get to see it. Hell, you'll pick up things that only the artist saw when they made it. Nobody else saw it again. Why? Because it's been put in a box. And only the person who made it and the person who puts it in the box have a relationship to it. I'm not saying that the person who's making the box has any credit toward the production of that piece by any means. All I'm saying is they're probably one of the few people who've actually had the opportunity to be this close to it, to breathe it, to smell it, to really see it. And that part's pretty dope. So, and that, you know, that's that priceless stuff. There are a number of works that really do move you. Or you stop, you're like, man, in fact, the works that will be going in these boxes, they're gonna move you. You're like, word. You just, you know, when you get around something or somebody, or you hear a piece of music and it just pulls you in, that's the kind of work that I really enjoy doing. Packing, working with, especially if those people are still alive. That's when it gets really fun. 'Cause you can converse with somebody about what's happening, not only process. It's all about process. That conversation can get dry kind of quickly. But, you know, if you have the opportunity to speak with them at depth about what's really going on, and also keep in mind when you go into somebody's studio to pack their artwork, sometimes they're not there to hear you yammer on about how good their work is. A big part of this job is to be unseen and unheard. It is just talking. We're done.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. Move that light.